some of the actions that we want them to take. We want them to say, hey, these are the 3 activities that I do as a young mother that is good for me as a mother, and 2, that will be good for my child. And yes, I am raising a Shuja's baby. So lastly is we also had a panel. We were doing survey panels with a group of young mothers and trying to interact with them or issuing surveys every 2 months. And we have been gradually observing some increase in behavior, positive behavior that is. And if you can see, for example, one of the key things that we were also chasing apart from nutrition, just trying to bring those behaviors that they seem that are for people not like them, like reading. Try to bring them to in their perspective that you don't have to buy an expensive storybook to spend time with your child. You don't have to take your child to the malls to show that you're a good mother. These are some of the simple things in your state you can do. And one of them is wanted to encourage the act of reading. And we saw that if you look at the weekly and also the daily, there is a slight increase in that behavior. Another thing that we also keen in is just trying to see if the parents themselves, the young mothers, if they're taking care of themselves. Because we've had stories of people from the field, young people from the field, who have said that they didn't have somebody to talk to. They don't have people in their community who can give them information. So they end up either going to social media or going to other young girls like them who also previously lacked the correct information to guide them. So we wanted to know or to find out, do they share the experiences? Because by sharing some of these things that they go through, by talking to somebody, it makes them feel better. It makes them, get some, learn or get some few information. But then that is something that we are still struggling with, as you can see from the last chat. It's something that we are gradually seeing that it's increasing, but it still has a lot of work to be done. So that is it from Shujas Inc. Thank you so much.
Clap for them. Clap for them. Yes, we are. Sometimes we go overboard, but when somebody is really explaining a point, presenting how to stop becomes a problem. But now, nevertheless, we are making it association between exclusive breastfeeding by Silas Achal. Is that you? Yes. Yes. That is Silas Onyango and Elizabeth ETC. Keep your questions. We'll discuss them at the end of the presentation. Silas co-presenters will be followed by Dr. Joyce Ogogo, who is online, inclusive of learners with disabilities. We follow that.
Okay, good afternoon. No, it's still morning. Good morning. Silas Onyango from the African Population and Health Research Center in Nairobi. So this morning I want to make a short presentation of part of the work that we have done here in this county. And I'm not presenting what we did, but I'm presenting a paper that we have written from that particular work. And so I will not get deep into the work that we did here, because I think that one will be making that presentation later in other forums. But I want to present part of the paper that we got from here. And the paper is about exclusive breastfeeding period and the developmental outcomes or in child development. Yeah, it is an interesting paper. Are you microphone? Thank you. It's an interesting paper. I love it myself, and it is being considered for publication. So in the next 1 or so months, you will still Google it out, and you see it in the PLOS is publishing it soon. Yeah, so the other thing that I wanted to say as they are continuing with this, I want to give a brief background of the work that we did around here. Between 2017 to 2020, I think that is last year, we had a kind of cluster randomized control trial, which was conducted here, and we set up studies within the health facilities in this sub-county, in Bondo sub-county. And then we had about 18 health facilities, and we collected data in 3 rounds. And the 4th round, I think COVID interfered, so we could not collect that information. But the paper that I want to present here is a paper that was analyzed from this particular data, and this project is over, and the report is written, but the dissemination will happen in another field. So one thing I want to say is that the paper that I'm presenting about, we only created a kind of age integer for the children all across. So we did not consider which round. We also did not consider, we did not consider which round, but we also did not consider whether the child belonged to an intervention or the child belonged to control. Of course, when we were writing this particular paper during analysis, we controlled for the effect of the intervention, and that one did not influence. Yeah, so I think the technical team is ready. Thank you so much for that and for your patience. I hope the timekeeper has stopped the watch so that just to be fair on me, I hope the timekeeper has just okay. Yeah. It's not working? Oh yeah. My email. No, I saved it here. Oh yeah, thank you. You are counting for this one? Doctor, you have to be fair. So, so put in the presentation mode. So I'm presenting on association between exclusive breastfeeding and between exclusive breastfeeding duration and child developmental outcome. And this is a study that was conducted here in Sierra County, here in Bondo sub-county, and I'm happy that I was part of this. Next slide. We know that. The previous slide. Yeah, we know that exclusive breastfeeding for about 6 months, I think this is a WHO recommendation. It's one of the best intervention and the best start for the children. The children have better nutritional outcome, they have reduced mobility, they have improved early development, they have improved bonding between the mother and the child. And the good thing in our country, Kenya here, that there are higher proportion of children. In 2014, they said it's about 61% of the children being exclusively breastfed for at least 6 months during that period. But this is not the case in Africa. If I would have presented data from other countries in Africa, it's quite interesting and it needs a lot of effort. But in our country, in Kenya here, I think we have made good efforts in improving this. Next slide. However, regarding developmental benefits of exclusive breastfeeding, there's still little information. And then the paper also, we set up this paper just to provide some evidence on to establish the association between EBF and also ECD outcome, especially for children 0 to 6 months. Next slide, please. So I see that we did an CRCT study here in Bondo, that is class randomized control trial between May 2017 to around December 2020, that was last year. And we did it in 3 rounds. We did it actually in 4 rounds, but the analysis that we presented here is only considering 2 rounds. That is the round 2 and round 3. And in round 2, the children were about 0 to 2 months, but then it extends up to some 7 or 8 months because some children were born earlier. And so we could not exclude them. But in round 3 also, there were some children that were even younger. So what we did in our analysis, in the next slide, we created a kind of age integer for the children between 0 to around 6 months, or to slightly more than 6 months, and then that one gave us only around 585 children that we used in this. And our exposure here that we considered in our analysis was exclusive breastfeeding, but the outcome was child development, and child development was measured using the ages and stages. Those of you who know ages and stages is a kind of screening tool, but then we use this to measure developmental outcomes. So this is this one showing how the flow of breastfeeding during the period that we have. At 1 month, it's almost 90% of the children being exclusively breastfed. It's not 100%, and that one tells us something, that we still need to get the children, because we know the developmental benefits of EBF. Then 2 months, 3 months, but around 6 months it starts going down. But our interest was between 3 to 6 months, because we know that during this period, even our mothers, most of our mothers now get back to work or get back to their businesses and so on and so forth. So during this period, we were interested to see the developmental outcomes of these children during this particular period when a lot of things are now happening. And the children have also known how to eat something, so the mothers start putting some things in their mouths. So we asked the mothers if they have ever given anything other than breast milk to their children, and those who said yes and those who said no, and that's how we assessed the EBF. You can continue. Now, our result shows that between 3 to 6, before we adjusted for other co-founders like education of the mother, age, and so on and so forth, we had about 0.43 SD increase in the overall ASQ, and that one, you see the confidence interval there. Before we adjusted. After adjusting for all those other factors, including children's age, I think it improved a bit, and it's go to 0.46, and this is the adjusted model. Next slide, please. Now, this is at 0 to 2 months. You see the development of both children were almost at par. The ones in red are the ones that are exclusively breastfed, and the ones in blue are the ones that are not breastfed. But when it moves to 3 to 6 months, the development is now very clear that the children who are exclusively breastfed have higher developmental outcomes compared to children who were not exclusively breastfed. And then what we did again, we looked at this now in terms of the domains of developmental outcomes. We have cognitive, we have communication, and so on and so forth. So we looked at this, and I think ages and stages have 5 of them. But I think 3 came out to be strong. And we look at 0.22 SD for communication, 0.17 for gross motor, and 0.16 for problem solving. It shows that exclusive breastfed children have better outcomes in these 3 development domains. But we did not find any association with fine motor and also personal social, which is social development. But then in other papers that we have presented in our paper, I can share it with you once it is published. And then in other papers that we read, they found this for older children who are above the age of 1 year. Next. So we're concluding and saying that EBF is strongly associated with communication, gross motor. There is an association. We are not saying that it is that strong, but there is an association between communication, gross motor, and problem solving. And so we believe that promoting exclusive breastfeeding during 3 to 6 period, 1 to 2 is also okay, but 3 to 6 period is a critical period. Then this will be very vital and will improve the development of children. So we say thank you.
So we had to use some more time. Now we have run away.
Now finish like that. It's all right. The absence of the chairman that is not here.
It's all right. Thank you. Can we applaud him? 1, 2, 3. Good. Now, as chair has guided us early, is that our questions should be intact put, and then we shall ask questions together. Now, we want to know if the next presenter, as we were guided, is online, Dr. Gogo and Dr. Nzioka from Kenyatta University. So, Dr. Gogo, can you get us? Great. Please. Yes, your time starts. Your time starts now. It's all right. Can you share your slides with us so that we share here? Please do that. Share, take over.
Okay. Good. Dr. Gogo is sharing. Hello, Dr. Gogo. We are hearing you. Not really. Yeah, it's being connected. Just hold on. So as we wait for that, is there any presentation that presenter that is here that because this is inclusive of learners with the disability by Joyce Ogogo and Dr. Nzoka, and okay. Very good. We are told our time is bad. We need to be ending, but let's listen to Dr. Gogo. Yes, as they present, let them just present, okay? As we do that, let her just present.
Dr. we can see the slide. You can continue with the presentation.
Thank you. We are going to present inclusion of learners with disabilities in early years education, a case of one year of school and
It's just disability.
So I'm going to allow Dr. Nzoka to present, and I'll be scrolling down the slides.
Cannot share. HDMI.
Yeah, we are just in the last bit.
Okay.
Then we had
In how many minutes?
like 10 minutes.
10 is a lot, Dr.
Okay.
10 is a lot.
Okay. Let's minute then we conclude.
Okay. We're covering time.
Okay. For yesterday.
majority of the individuals agree that
Hello, Daktari, can you hear us? Hello, Dr. Nzoka?
yes,
Very good presentation. We are clapping for you. Our time is up. We are joining the plenary. Thank you for your methodology and the finding. Can we have a round of applause for Daktari? Thank you so much. We are now, ladies and gentlemen, in a minute or so getting into the question, any burning question from any of the participants that have so far presented. We are a bit behind time with our logistical areas here. Yes?
I wanted to raise a question. This is to Shujaz.
Uh-huh.
I think one of the most important things that they were running away from was allowing the girls to go to social media to get information, and instead they prefer that they talk with people. And I wanted to find out, how are they ensuring that the people these girls are talking to are not doing the work that social media will do, that they are providing the girls with the right information? Thank you.
Yes, Shujaz, the floor is yours. How do you verify the information they are getting from other people other than the social media?
Okay, so let me just answer. Thank you for your question. So one of the things that we... Okay, thank you. Yeah, so one of the things that we are key about, and thank you for raising that, is we usually have a community of young people that we are constantly in touch with, more than 2,000 plus, and we constantly engage them using our SMS surveys. So that's one of also the pillars or ways of which we also try to norm these behaviors and also just try to share their experiences. Because one thing we want to like we had mentioned, we are a network of very young people, and we work with also young people, and we want to reach them, to reach these young people, how using the best platforms that they are in. So one of them, like I've mentioned, is social media, which is also a place where we want them, when they come to Shuja's platform, they see characters who are like them. So that's a place whereby they can learn. So it's different from whatever other places they will go to. It's, yes, entertaining, one, and two, it's people talking to them in a manner that they would want, not finger wagging. They'll find young people talking in Sheng, if it's, for example, people who understand Sheng. We also have, because we have a lot of young people in the Western region, and for them, they usually communicate to us using now the analog platform, which is our SMS surveys and also SMS channels. So I don't know if that kind of answers your question. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair, for the very well-run session. I normally believe that not every question should be answered. Most questions are only given to you so that you rethink and walk the right journey. So I don't intend to have my questions answered. Community. Those who presented on the community, my brother, my sister Rinda, I want to say that on community, there is a question that lingers. What did the study focus on? Because there were children, actually there were children who were born, the children who were born by the teenagers or the teenagers themselves. Can we absolve one of them so that we focus on one? But given that it is not an academic area, you can walk the two routes. On exclusive breastfeeding, a good presentation, Brother Silas. I want to wonder how did you measure and which indicators gave you development? What was this development? And the child was actually an infant. What and how did you measure this? I think you need to think about that, and then you can give us the indicators as you share the paper later. Thank you. Chair, you continue because of time.
There's a question online.
Yes, Mutisia online. Thank you, Dr. for those consults. The honors have taken. Mutisia? Rosopio, are you hearing us? Okay. Yes. Who is talking? Yes, Rose talking? Can we give Dr. Mutisia first, then Dr. Rosopeo?
I would want to say that we are working with the program for day 2, breakaway session number 2, and all the presenters who are listed, I am only seeing, I think one presentation has not been done, but I don't know how we are going to handle this because we are required back to the plenary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are here by the door waiting for us. I think we are late and dragging others behind. I think we need to. Yes?
Those on virtual, let them go back to the main session.
Okay, I'm being directed that those who are to present virtually, those on virtual, please go back to the main plenary where we are heading to, and we round up this. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your time and for your presentation. Thank you.